Greetings! It is I, Tentus Dracovin, Lord and Emperor of the Dracovin Empire, and welcome. It is time for Gathering the Roll, the only news program supported by the Empire, with exciting and fantastic news from the worlds of collectible card games such as Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh!, of role-playing games such as Dungeons & Dragons, Pathfinder, and of course Shadowrun, and card games and board games also. But let's dive into it with a little bit of collectible card game news. Of course, let's start out with Magic the Gathering. This weekend is the Amonkhet Pro Tour, a standard booster draft that's taking place in Nashville, Tennessee. So you can see if you can get on it now. My tickets might be filled up. But of course, you could also always watch it online at the Magic's Twitch page and check out what's going on in this interesting standard format booster draft tournament. Also, though, we have some Yu-Gi-Oh! News. Of course, out is a new booster pack set. Maximum Price is a new 100-card set, sort of filling out the 2016-2017 releases, kind of leaving into some of the more releases coming out this year, kind of capping off the themes that they've been having for the entire season. You can get that now. Now let's move on to some role-playing game news. First off, we have some Shadowrun news. There's a new book out, a new book on some advanced magical techniques for your Shadowrun characters. Forbidden Arcana. This is basically giving a lot more options, dozens more options to your awakened characters that they can add to increase their magical prowess when it comes to, of course, role-playing in the 5th edition of Shadowrun. You can check that out now. Now also out is The Mystic, The Burn Temple of Ammar RPG 2nd Edition. This is the 2nd edition of this RPG with updated rules, skills, spells, all made that you can easily adapt for getting new characters in or for giving new advancements for experienced characters in this new updated version of the rules set for this RPG that's made to be played without a DM/GM. Now, in other exciting news, though, there's a re-release of Fractured Galaxy RPG, a free release. What this is it is a special playtest version of the Fractured Galaxy RPG that you can get for free now, with some basic combat rules, basic setup rules, a couple pre-made characters, things that a GM could easily throw together to have a small adventure set in the Fractured Galaxy setting and get you an idea of how it plays and how the universe is set up, and get you to know if you really want to play this game and purchase it for yourself. So you can check out this free copy now and test out Fractured Galaxy at this point in time. Now let's move on to some board and card game news, and let's start out with an expansion to King of Tokyo, Powered Up. Now this expansion is the first one set that's basically a direct expansion of the latest version of King of Tokyo that came out in 2016, the updated version of it. So it has, of course, a new monster, the big old panda, and it, of course, has some updates of some new powers for a lot of the classic monsters that have been out with the original and expansions of King of Tokyo. You can get it out now for your King of Tokyo games. Now also out is a new card game called Ninja Taisen. This one is basically an interesting and updated version of the rules of Rochambeau, which effectively, if you didn't know, is a version of rock, paper, scissors. So now this card game, based around ninjas, you can get it now for this kind of rock, paper, scissors action, and check it out for yourself. Now also out is Unfair. Your players take the roles of amusement park owners, and the object of the game is to attract more visitors than any of your other amusement park owners. Each of you is competing in order to get the most visitors there by building the biggest and best attractions and bringing them in, and also sabotaging and doing underhanded tactics to your other amusement park owners, because, you know, life's unfair. Also out now is Tournament of Camelot. So, the Knights of Camelot are known to be the greatest warriors in the land, true knights of valor and greatness. But amongst them, who is the best? So now a great tournament is being held to see which of the Knights of Camelot, amongst all of them, is the true greatest in the land. You can try this interesting take on the Camelot mythos now. So that's it for the news for this week. Links to any of these news stories will, of course, be in the description for more. Remember to like, subscribe, and, of course, share. It's very important to share the news with everyone else. If you have any questions about any of these news stories or anything you want to discuss about any of them, please just leave in the comments below. If you have any suggestions for discussion questions based on these news stories, or suggestions based on them of something that we want us to discuss on Discussing Tabletop this weekend at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, www.twitch.tv/TantusandDracovin. You can, of course, also leave those in the comments below. You can also email us at discussingtabletop@yahoo.com. Remember that all things we discuss there are based upon these news stories here, so if you have any big questions you think you want us to discuss based on them, or topics, that's the best way to reach us. Just contact us there. But, of course, if you do have any just general questions, short answer, based on these news stories, go ahead and leave them down below, and I will answer them to the best of my abilities. But if you do want to show some extra support for the channel, you can always check out my Patreon, link description below. And, of course, until the next time, I bid you farewell.